Hi guys, so today what I'm working on actually evolved quite a bit while I was working it out and everything. When I started out this piece, I really just meant it to be more of a practice for the space. What I wanted to do was, there's certain elements in the way that I've been drawing faces that I like to try to get better at, or at least get a different way of drawing it. I find that I tend to do overly simplified faces a lot of times, and that's something that I want to be able to bring more reality and a little bit more actual anatomy into the way that I draw things. So what I started out doing was I started out with a sketch that I just had out of my head and just a way to start going. And I do find that when I work straight from photo reference, sometimes I can get a little bit too far away from where I actually want my piece to look or my style to look, and it ends up some weird area that's not really my look anymore, and it's not really photorealistic anymore because I'm trying to make it the way that I draw, but it comes out a little bit wrong. So what I did for this was I started out with a sketch that was more my style, and then I looked up a reference of a face that had a similar structure and the same kind of perspective that I wanted to draw. I'm really excited about this kind of process and finding ways that I really want to improve in. I find that I've kind of stagnated a little bit in my style, and that's something that I'm realizing I really want to push myself and get better at drawing. It's something that it's exciting to think about all the possibilities that I can bring in and make my art better. And yeah, for drawing faces, that's a big thing for me. I think that I've definitely simplified the way that I draw it quite a bit, and I feel like it's getting more and more over time, and I'm not progressing. I'm actually getting worse, I think. So looking up how actual faces look, I know it sounds crazy, really, but that's really the thing that I need to do to be able to improve at this huge thing that I need to work on. So when I started, I really had no goal. I had no purpose behind it. I was just drawing. I knew that I wanted to figure out the face and figure things out a little bit better. But along the way, it just really turned into a very different thing. It ended up being something that I wanted to finish up. And I tried out some of these different compositional elements, like these hands. There was a couple others that I tried that I didn't like, and I had actually not recorded those, or else I would have included that. But this is the one that I ended up liking the most, and I was just really liking the feel of it, so I decided to go ahead and go with it. At this point, I was beginning to get a better picture in my head how I wanted this to look finished. I was kind of getting the mood and the color scheme in my head, and I knew that I really wanted the line art for the hands to be a much lighter color. I wanted it to look really ghostly and just a lot more ethereal and creepy, so that's what I ended up going with. But I made sure that I did it in black. It helped me to be able to see the actual composition a little bit better than starting out with something lighter or anything like that. So I knew that I wanted to change that, so I left it on a separate layer. Now, the process that I used for this artwork is something that I'm actually trying really hard to get away from, and I'm really trying to focus on creating multiple thumbnails for pieces that I want to do, and to be able to really figure out the composition and all the issues beforehand in the thumbnail phase, and that way I can choose the best composition instead of just running with the first thing that came to me. And yeah, so this one was something that I tried to not let happen anymore. It's usually the way I used to work when I did pieces, where it's just, I just started drawing, and whatever first idea I had, it stuck unless I hated it, and then I changed it. But if it was acceptable, then it stayed. So that's something that I'm really realizing that I need to work a lot more on and put a lot more focus on, is thumbnailing things out. And it's something that's really enjoyable, and I love doing it. It's just I always kind of miss that step for some reason. So this helps me realize that I do need to do that more. And in the end, I do really like this piece, so I'm definitely okay with the way it came about, and the fact that it did happen. It's just, it helps me see that there's a lot of things that I do need to improve on still, specifically the way that I go about creating any artwork. And that's something that I'm actually planning on doing a whole video on. I'm
really excited about taking stock in all the different things that I find inspiring and also moving, and the things that make me really passionate. So I'm excited to be able to look back at myself and see what are the things that I find inspiring or insightful and interesting from the different moods or life events or anything like that. So I'm really excited to be able to figure that out and do a lot more research exactly what I want to create and where I can find that inspiration. So that's something that I will expand on a lot more in the future. And that is pretty much the end of this piece. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch all the future art videos, and until then, I will see you at my next one. Bye!